Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Victoria Rogers with the Greater Scranton Chamber of Commerce. And today we have Greg Shirk here. He is the Workforce Development Supervisor with the Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry, talking about work opportunity, tax credit, and federal bonding program, and has some really great items in this presentation we're looking forward to hearing. So Greg, thanks so much for coming. Anyone that has questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box below. Greg, thanks so much.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Victoria, for inviting me. I really like presenting these two programs. I think they're great programs. They help both employers and employees. So thank you so much for inviting me. As Victoria mentioned, I'll be talking about the Work Opportunity Tax Credit, and I'd like to call it WOTC going forward, and also the federal bonding program. So let's get started. Oh, there we go. Okay, WOTC. Well, what is it? It's a federal program developed by the U.S. Department of Labor and also the IRS. And it is an incentive for employers to hire individuals from certain target groups who they may have had a hard time finding work or getting a job and keeping a job. So this program gives an incentive for employers to hire these folks, and it saves employers some money. Highlights, again, employers, you save money. You know how? Well, you hire somebody that qualifies or certifies under one of those target groups, and depending on how many hours they work for you within the first year of employment, let's just say they work over 400, so you get the maximum credit of $2,600 for a target group. Well, that $2,600, when you go to file your income tax at the end of the year, that reduces your federal tax liability by that much. So that money stays in your bank. You don't pay it to the federal government. Now, let's say that you got all these credits and your federal tax liability is zero, and you have more you could claim. Well, you can carry those forward to other years. That's not a problem. You can submit an application on every employee you hire, and I highly recommend it. What I tell employers is, have them have each candidate, or before the interview, fill out the 8850, the pre-qualification form. And then once you're done interviewing and you have two candidates who are equally qualified, you're on the fence with both, you don't know which one to pick. If one of them answered yes or checked one of the boxes, you may want to consider taking that one on board because they may qualify you for a tax credit. Any size employer can benefit. Sure, we get the big box stores, Home Depot, Target, Walmart, Lowe's, all them. But, what I really enjoy is helping out these mom and pop shops. And I'll tell you what, when I first came on board, I started helping out Hornung's True Value in downtown Harrisburg. And Mrs. Hornung, she was up there and she had no idea about the program, but she heard it from somebody, gave me a call, and I helped her out. And she was, she would hire maybe 2 or 3 felons a year, and she would get the tax credits, and it was really helping their business out. Now she's retired, and her daughter Jen, I've been working with her, and they're just, they're very happy with the program. Happy with how easy it is, and makes them very successful. Something new that happened a few years ago: qualified tax-exempt 501 organizations can claim the WOTC. Now, there is one caveat: they would only be able to claim it if they hired one of the 5 veteran categories. They wouldn't be able to hire the non-veteran. Well, they could, but they wouldn't be able to claim the credit on one of the non-veteran categories. Only the veteran. And you notice here are the target groups. On the left, the non-veteran target groups, and on the right, the veteran groups. Now, you'll see TANF and SNAP, recipient. Now, there is specific criteria that must be met for each target group. And I have and will be sending out a detailed information on each target group, what the certain criteria needs to be. But here are the target groups, and you notice it's a wide range of folks. Okay, a veteran. Now, this definition is a little bit different than what the veteran employment work with here in the state of Pennsylvania and throughout the country. But basically, any person who served on active duty in the armed forces for at least 181 days or more. Now, this is the big caveat. Training time does not count. So the time they spend in basic training and after basic training, they go to their school where they learn their military job, that time would not count. So the active duty time starts after they finish training. Now, if they are collecting compensation for service-connected disability, yes, the time does not count. The 181 days, that's out the window. let's say they went to basic, got to their first duty station, got hurt or whatever, and they're collecting compensation for a service-connected disability, yes, they qualify. Time does not count. Also, a big caveat, dishonorably discharged veterans are eligible. That's a big change for what our veteran employment reps use here in the state of Pennsylvania. So they are eligible. Who is not eligible? Well, certainly relatives and dependents of the employer. And this is a big one. It's been a big thing for the, during COVID. Former employees, regardless of how long they have worked for the employer. If they were furloughed or they worked for the employer in the past, they just would not qualify. And this has been a big to-do here with COVID. But that's just a federal law we have to follow, and it's just the way it is. How do you apply for the credit? Well, it's really easy. I know a lot of employers and folks, they look at this process, they read about it and think, oh my gosh, all this red tape. I don't want to put up with this stuff. It's not worth it. Believe me, it's worth it. It is so easy. All you have to do is have 2 forms filled out and signed. One is an IRS 8850 and the other was an ETA form 9061. Now, the IRS form 8850, that's what the employers can use during their interview process, when they, orientation or onboarding. The big important thing that must be met, these forms have to be submitted within 28 days of the employee's start date. Okay, let me go in detail about that because there's a little more detail about that. The 28 days. So let's, for an example, we have an employee start work today. You have 28 calendar days to get those forms submitted. Now, if the 28th day is on a Saturday, Sunday, or federal holiday, then the next business day would be the 28th day. Now, some confusion with employers and consultants is they think that if the federal holiday falls within that 28 days, like, say the employee gets hired today, next week is federal holiday, well, they get an extra day. No, the 28th day has to be that federal holiday or Saturday, Sunday, then the next business day. Now, employers can, sure, they can mail the forms in, but we prefer that they submit the applications online on our website. You'll see it down there, www.cwds.pa.gov. Now, the reason we prefer that, if you mail the applications in, employers will need to get proof of mailing, because if that mail gets lost in the mail or gets delayed or something, and we receive it after the 28th day, the application is going to be denied. The proof of mailing is really, it's a hassle because you have to get a postal stamp on a postal form 3187. And that form must have the employee's last name once. We know which applications were mailed on that day. Now, to go online and submit on our website, it's very easy. You just sign into your company profile, go to the application screen. Our application screen basically mirrors the forms. So whatever boxes or information checked on the forms, you check the same box on our website. It's that easy. It's so easy. Now, when you submit the application online, the paper forms still need to be filled out and signed. And they also need to be kept on file for at least 4 years minimum. That is for IRS audit purposes. Okay. How can they access the forms? They go to the website. Up in the upper right-hand corner, you see the help icon right there in the middle. Click on that and look under miscellaneous documents. Not only will there be forms, there will be so much information about the program, about how to claim the credit, the different credit amounts, a frequently asked questions document, all sorts of helpful information they can print out, keep by their side for reference. It's just a wealth of information. And also they can always reach out to me. That's fine, I don't mind. I love taking phone calls and emails. I'm always here to help, and I like my job and I'm always here. Okay, let's move on. The federal bonding program. As you see there, I am the state bonding coordinator, and this program was established back in 1966. A lot of employers have no idea about this, or basically the folks who would qualify or go under this program, they have no idea about it. So I love spreading the word because this really helps out a lot of individuals. And a lot of times when employers hear about this from an employee or job seeker coming on board after the job seeker talks to me, they think it's too good to be true, but it is, and it's here to stay. What's the objective? Well, it helps job seekers who may be at risk for the employer to bring on board. If the employer feels that this person is kind of risky person to bring on board, well, this is an incentive for the employer to hire them. What do I mean by at risk? Well, of course, reentries, ex-offenders, they're the big, about 99% of my bonds are issued for them, but not always. Let's just say you're a bank and you want to hire somebody for a teller position and they may have filed bankruptcy in the past. Well, I can issue a bond. Recovering substance addicts, individuals dishonorably discharged from military, I can issue a bond. If you, the employer, feel at risk of bringing this person on board, meaning you feel they might do some shady business, steal money or property from you, I can issue a bond. Also, if you're an employee who has been working with you, great employee, and now you want to promote them with more increased monetary responsibility. Let's just say an example, they've been working in HR, doing a great job, and now you want to put them to payroll or help with the payroll department. I can issue a bond on their first day of employment. Or let's say they've been working in the stockroom or something, a warehouse, and now you want to put them on a delivery truck, or they're going to drive around with really expensive equipment or so forth. I can issue a bond on their first day of promotion. It's that easy. Okay, so some of the highlights. This program is absolutely free. Costs you nothing, costs the employee nothing. It's free. There's no paperwork to complete. I do everything. You call me, I go on the website, sign in, get some information from the employer, about a little information about the employee, click submit, bam, the bond's issued immediately. There's no waiting time. It takes maybe a 3 to 5 minute phone call on the day the person is hired. No deductible. This is not like your homeowner's insurance or your car insurance. 0 deductible. If you must file a claim, no deductible. The bond is good for 6 months and it protects the employee up to $5,000 of theft of money or property. Now, if there is justification, I can issue 5 bond stamps per employee, and that would give you a coverage of $25,000. But I would need justification. For instance, working in payroll, or again, like I said, driving around with really expensive equipment or a delivery truck, delivering really expensive, products or so forth. But I can do that. I would just need justification from the employer. Restrictions, of course, the employee must be a legal working age in Pennsylvania. They also must pay federal taxes through their payroll deduction. The job has to be at least 6 months in length. I'm not permitted to issue a 6-month bond for a temporary job that lasts 3 to 4 months. That just wouldn't, be effective for us or the state. And also self-employed individuals are not eligible. Believe it or not, I do get quite a few phone calls from individuals who are starting up, say, a home care business or landscaping business or, contract business, and they want to get bonded. Well, they would have that kind of a bond, and you need to go through an insurance company. This is a totally different bond. But I do get calls, and again, self-employed individuals are not eligible. Process, as I mentioned before, the employer calls me on the first day of work. I sign onto a website. I ask for the employer's information, maybe their name, address, and phone number, the contact person. And also I need the employee's name, the position, wage, their address, and that's pretty much it. And I click the submit button. The bond's effective. It is good to go right then and there. And I will usually email them a screenshot of that showing that it is effective, the bond's there, it's good to go. Now, within 10 business days, the employer will receive a package in the mail. Within that package is the actual bond certificate. The second piece is instructions that they would need to extend the bond for an additional 6 months. Now, I know from the Union Insurance Group, they're the ones who issue the bond, that's a case-by-case basis on how much the additional 6 months would be. It depends on the employee's responsibilities and the reason why the employer wanted the bond. So those are the 2 things the Union Insurance Group would ask. Now, the first 6 months is on the Commonwealth, it's free. The next 6 months is on the employer. Now, I can tell you, I've been the bonding coordinator for almost 11, 12 years now. Every time I issue a bond, I ask the employer, hey, please let me know if you extend the bond or so forth, or if you need to make a claim, please let me know. I just want to know how the process went. I'd like to be able to help you if you need anything, things like that. I have never gotten a call. So as far as I know, no bond has been extended. And I've never heard of a bond or any employer having to make a claim. And that is the third item that's in the package they receive within those 10 days, is instructions if they would need to file a claim against the bond. I do know, and I've been told from the insurance group, that the employer definitely needs a police report on the matter. So that is a definite thing. But other than that, it's smooth sailing. Again, I have never heard anything within the state of Pennsylvania of extending or claiming on the bond, which is a good thing. Okay, that presents my presentation. There again is my email address and my phone number and our website. I want to thank you so much, Victoria, for having me on board. Thanks everyone for listening. I appreciate taking your time today. Do we have any questions?
I didn't see any either, Greg. This was great and wonderful information to have.
Thank you.
I hope that, businesses take advantage and do use this. And thank you so much for offering your information too for context. And I know you said before our call, anyone can call or reach out to you with questions. And you seem very passionate and very knowledgeable about this. So thank you.
Yes, and yeah, Amy, thank you. I should have mentioned, and I mentioned every time I do a presentation or anytime I talk to an employer on the phone or by email, please, please, please don't ever think you're bothering me by calling me or emailing me with questions. I'm here to help you. I love my job. I love helping employers and employees. I would rather answer a million calls and emails and get it right for you, the employer and the employee, than for you to think you're bothering me, you guess, or you hesitate, and then you miss out on something. No, please call me. And again, pass my information on to everybody, anybody and everybody. I want to get the word about these programs. I want to help the employers. We need to get people working, and I'm here to help. And again, Victoria, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Any last questions? Come on, it couldn't have been that good. Has to be fun.
It was.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thanks. Take care, everyone. Stay safe.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.